Hey everybody, Jughead here, and we're always talking with people about what we do and the skills we have, and we're talking about taking it easy and learn slowly and expand your limits. Always be learning, always be growing, always making yourself a better pilot. And today I had a fun opportunity to go do that. The last couple of years during low and slow to Oshkosh, there's been a couple opportunities where guys were landing out in some tall grass, or guys needed to land out in some tall grass to help out some other airplanes. And that tall grass is kind of like snow. You don't really know what you have until you get there. But I've never really played in the tall grass too much. The couple times I landed in it, I knew I'd walked it before, so I knew there were no obstacles in it. The one thing I never really had done was I hadn't done any takeoffs in really tall grass. Now, we're out here where we do the Friday night stool and barbecues, and the normal runway, which is right over here, looks pretty good. This is about as short as the grass will ever get, which is about 3 to 4 inches. It's not a super smooth surface. A lot of times it looks a little more like this, what we see, where the grass is up in the 6-inch range. And it definitely plays a difference. You know, takeoffs that I would normally be able to do in about 180 feet, I'm seeing here are about 250, 280 feet sometimes. So then I decided, well, what would it be like if I came out here in the tall grass? And when I say the tall grass, this is what I'm looking at. All right, this is the very tall stuff is taller than my waist. It's mid-chest on me, and I'm 6'2". Let's see if we can show this. All the rest of it I would definitely call knee high here. There we go. And what we have when we start looking down in here is we have a big variety. We've got about 6 inches of fine grass, and then you've got a variety of different types of weeds and grasses growing up to the 3-foot range. So I thought it would be fun to come out here and do a takeoff and just see what it would do to my performance. I've got my 170 stock 0300 motor, the climb prop running 26-inch Goodyears on it now. So what was it going to do as I came out and started my takeoff roll out through here? Well, right here, it's been a couple hours since I took off, and here's what my tracks look like. They're the vegetation's starting to grow back up. And here's another one. You can see where I mowed that down a lot more. But what was it going to do to my takeoff roll was a big question. Nice thing is I had a chance to, again, walk the area. I knew there weren't any obstacles. I also knew I had a safety at the end of the field. There's no obstacles off the end of the runway. I've got somewhere around 1,600 feet, I think, of usable. And if I needed to, I could either just rudder to the right, get out onto the traditional runway, or at the end, if it was just barely starting to fly, I would pop out into a nicely mowed hayfield and not have an issue or a concern. So I had a couple safety outs, which is always important when you're out there trying to push your limits. So enjoy these videos, take a look at what happened, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. Well, I hope you enjoyed those. It was a lot of fun for me. I learned a lot of things. One of the things I learned, the airplane actually performed a lot better than I thought it would. Where I thought I would be airborne in close to maybe 800 to 1,000 feet, I was airborne 400 to 500 realistically. We're going to try to get a more precise measurement on it here. But of course, as soon as I got the tail wheel up out of the bottom of that thick grass, I felt a big surge of acceleration. The one thing you'll notice out here in the grass, it's very inconsistent. So you would get a lot of drag on one side or the other. You really had to be active with the rudders as you were overcoming that. And as soon as you started to, I was using 20 degrees of flaps because I wanted to get as much weight off my gear as possible. Wasn't trying to pop it airborne. I was letting the airplane tell me when it was ready to fly. And with 20 flaps, a traditional soft field configuration, she lifted off nicely, and the second she started to come off the ground, you could really feel the acceleration, and that was nice. Well, here we are, we're looking back down at my first takeoff. You can already see that we're 400 feet, 300 feet maybe, down through the meadow, and I'm pretty light on the gear. The grass is just barely knocked down, and right after I turn around, pretty much the tracks are gone. So this is about where I was getting airborne. Well, there we are, everybody. We just walked it off, measured both takeoffs on 2 different recording devices, and we're about 650 feet. So shorter than I thought, longer than I thought it was when it actually was occurring, but it was a really fun way to go out and learn something new. Push my limits, push my skills, add to my bucket of knowledge. And I really encourage everybody to go out there and do that. You know, Quinn says it all the time. So figure out what's a new skill set you want to go out and practice, or maybe not a new skill set, a skill set that you're no longer proficient in. The most important thing is always be learning as a pilot and increasing your proficiency, increasing the skills that you have in case anything ever goes wrong, because we don't live up to what we think we're going to. We live down to what we've trained for. So Jugheads, have a good night. We're going to jump on the mower here and get that runway ready for Friday night stolen barbecue up at Green Valley, Washington. See everybody later.